Mark 3-5-23, Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Let's cross down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care to Sam Gaston.
Guys, just got the starting interchange players for Montrose here. Alan Stride, Sam Rickard, Owen Hall and Brendan Rinaldi.
Yeah, and boys, it doesn't look like Shiver's day is over just yet. He's getting a bit of medical attention, but he's getting strapped up, so he might be coming back on.
5 goals is the margin, and I tell you what, Sean Roach went in unbelievably hard there in the middle of the ground and sent Alan Stride, possibly even Sam Goodman, who slotted that last goal very crudely in the middle of the ground. He's only just getting up to his feet now. He looks a little bit groggy. I can't see any cards being paid, so
he's a bit lucky, to be honest.
Very, very lucky.
What Mooroolbark need to do, show a bit of intensity and physical contest, because Montrose dominated that aspect of the game in the first half.
Goodman found Weatherly, arched the back, broke the tackle, and then took off inside forward 50. The kick goes towards the knee direction, couldn't quite pull it down. Charge was there as well, going in hard there was Haining, got brought to ground. The umpire will eventually come in and bounce it. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast today. It's a 5-goal lead to the Montrose Football Club early in the third term. Forest Hill lead Ferntree Gully in the third term, and Baldwin lead Vermont as the ball comes out into the arms there of McManus. He scrambled it out towards the Mike Smith direction. He's clever in these conditions. Little handball over the top, spots up Armstrong. Now on the left boot, kicks the ball up towards the half-forward line, looking for his teammate in Martin. Matty Langdon went up, got one handle on the ball. Montrose, they've held that in very, very nicely there, because there were players running forward for the Mustangs inside forward 50 and nobody in front of them. So the ball's been held up across the half-forward line for Mooroolbark as the umpire starts it again. Haining knocked it straight down to Stephen. Little banana kick out towards the wing position, creates a foot race for Polkinghorne and Johnson. Eventually both players see it right over the boundary line and out of bounds in front of the big Trojan workhorse bar out there.
Mooroolbark seem to have come out full of aggression here, so see if they can have an impact on the scoreboard as well as on some of the Montrose guys.
You work so hard for a year and it comes down to an hour, you may as well give your all now. There's not much time left as the ball scoots into the middle of the ground. Knee went after it, couldn't quite pull the ball in. Nicely scooped upon there by Noonan. Takes off, floating kick inside forward 50 or thereabouts, coming out Lemon in front, takes off inside now. The kick goes on board and a fantastic mark taken there by Chris Murphy. He's already kicked a handy goal in this third term, and we spoke about X-Factor players, Peter Baird, at the start of this game, and all of a sudden Murphy's putting his hand up to be one of those.
He's a veteran of the Mooroolbark Footy Club, and his bigger body's really coming to the fore in these heavier conditions. He's putting his body on the line, leading out well. He could be the guy that gets him back in the game.
He's an absolute tank, Murphy. He comes in now. That is a beautiful kick off the boot. Went straight over the goal umpire's head, goalpost height too. That's his second on the board, and Mooroolbark, that's their second for the term. So they're inching closer, aren't they? 5 minutes gone here in the third quarter of the Division 2 Choose Tap Grand Final, and it's still Montrose leading it by 4 goals. 8-5, 53, plays 4 goals, 5, 29.
He's very quick, Murph, you're surprisingly quick. So at this stage, Kearney or Carney, he can't go with him.
Well, he was a gun midfielder for many years, Chris Murphy, in the EFL at Lilydale and at Coldstream. And he's played plenty of great football in the engine room. They need him kicking goals today, which is what he's done in this quarter. 2 goals to start the third quarter. 24-point lead to Montrose, 8-5-53. Mooroolbark 4-5-29. Better football in this third quarter from the Mustangs. They were pretty poor in that second term. Game got away from them quite a bit. They go forward again here through Lemon. Lemon beats the tackler, races in and kicks the goal for Mooroolbark. Great footy for the Mustangs. Daniel Lemon gets his second goal of the day, and Mooroolbark move on to 5-5-35. Montrose 8-5-53, Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
The spark's really coming from some of those Montrose second-tier players, guys like Murphy, Lemon. We saw Bishop in the first half was very good as well. So it's the guys that the Montrose team haven't put all their heavy work into. You know they're going to put that work into guys like Polkinghorne and Giorgio, Mark Martin, Mike Smith, but it's the second-tier players that arise, and they're the guys that could eventually get up and win you a premiership, Andy.
Yeah, they're the ones who are stepping up. This game's in the balance here.
8 minutes gone in the third term. Haining going up against charge. No one got the clear knockout. Goodman came charging in. Mike Smith picks the ball up from Mooroolbark. Got a little handball out. He basically just passed it to Newman, who ran into a brick wall. Hot footy on the wing position going after it. Maxwell came in for the Mustang. Going on hands and knees. Little handball out by McManus. Couldn't spot up his teammate in Wadsworth. Nicely done there by Brendan Gardole to put his body on the line and keep the ball in.
Much better pressure from Mooroolbark, though. Really tackling hard. You can feel they've lifted. They sense their times now.
Pye throws the ball up, charge over the back. Got a little fist on it. Montrose have the numbers. Nice tackle there, which was finished off a little bit too crudely, and there might even be a 25-metre penalty here paid, but Pye said no. So the free kick for Montrose. Along the wing position they go now. Nicely done there by Giorgio. He probably could have nearly been paid the mark because he got the big fist on it. Newman goes backwards to go forwards. That was okay. Now Preston on the right boot drives the ball up to the centre half forward position. Lemon's at the back of the pack. He's got the turn of speed, but Montrose, they had the numbers, they had the poise, and now they thumped the ball up towards centre half forward. A big fly over the back of the pack there. Couldn't quite pull it down. Knee was at the fall of the ball. So too was there in Roberts on the left boot. Scrambles a kick up towards the half forward line, and well, luck's of fortune. Knee finds position A and takes the mark. In fact, it's Petrarca on the right boot, kicks it up towards the top of the goal square. That wasn't a crash hot kick. McManus, his handball, he knocked it right into the danger zone, and luckily for him, Nick Maxwell was back there to knock it through for a minor score. Let's cross down boundary side thanks to Akira Urgent Care to Jeffrey Manalitza.
Yeah, boys, the intensity of this game has really lifted, and the crowd are really getting involved now.
No question about that. As Muratori brings the ball back in.
Beautiful.
Swings it out to this broadcast side, and he finds Preston. Andy Preston. Petrarca standing the mark. Preston's kick, banks the kick to the wing position. Knee set himself for the mark and safely reels it in. Andy Knee wants to go laterally, decides against it. Very indecisive. Real just kicking home. That was poor. That couldn't have turned out any worse than it did, as Muratori safely holds the mark for the Mustangs. Gets it out to Armstrong. Armstrong's little handball to Preston. Preston gets around. Well, he doesn't get around Goodman. Goodman corralled him nicely. Off to Muratori. Long searching kick for Murphy, who crashes the pack. Off hands to Roach. Sean Roach fires at the goals. And I tell you what, he would have given it some sort of celebration if he kicked that goal, Sean Roach, but he's just off target. Mooroolbark 5-6-36. Montrose 8-6-54. Benny, go back to scoreboard. Mooroolbark are up and about, Benny.
Goodman, the kick in, goes out towards the Garthwaite direction. He stood strong and took a good mark there across the centre half back line. We'll use the members wing here. It's a 2-on-1 situation. Who's going to be the flyer? Nicely done there by Beninga. Takes the mark. He probably shouldn't have gone on with it, but he did so. Had the turn of speed to rough himself up. Get the little handball across to Stephen. He in turn uses Sam Rickard on the right boot up towards centre half forward. Bouncing football. They've still got the numbers here. Petrarca. Little handball over the top. That was handy. Scooped upon here by Watson. Oh, he was under a lot of pressure as he got rid of that ball, but he killed it back nicely and got one behind as the result. So 10.5 minutes gone in the third term. The Premiership quarter in the Division 2 Choose Tap Grand Final. It is Montrose 8-7-55, Mooroolbark 5-6-36.
Better in pressure and intent, though, from Mooroolbark this half. They're really showing an appetite for the contest, and it's starting to pay rewards for them.
Umpires have put the whistle away too, which is making it a great game.
Mother Nature took the rain away too.
It has come alive in the third quarter as Giorgio brings it back into play. Quick kick came out of the pack from McManus up towards Wadsworth, but it bounces over his head. Jai Goodman got it from Gardle. Goodman's kick intended there for Johnson, but it carried over his head. Sam Goodman's handball to Johnson. Demons share it through the middle. Neat pass was effective to Hoare. Rowan Hoare takes the mark on his chest, right in the middle of Tormore Reserve. Finds Goodman. Neat kick as well. It was
great
Knee,
foot skills from Montrose. Great foot skills.
Andy Knee got it to Sam Rickard. Much better from Knee that time. Rickard goes in very short and lots of space there for the Montrose forwards. Rowan Hoare takes the mark on his chest. He had nobody anywhere near him. And he'll go back and line up. This kick will test him. He is a pretty long kick of the footy. Looks confident enough. Strides in now. Hoare That is a beautiful kick off the boot. Could not have been any more straight through the middle. And Rowan Hoare gets his first goal of the day. And Montrose just steady. They keep their composure. They stretch the lead back out to 25 points. Bendigo Bank scoreboard as we cross down thanks to Akira Urgent Care to our boundary riders.
Yeah, just keep an eye on Mooroolbark. He came off with a bit of a leg injury, his left leg. He's just running back on now, but we'll keep an eye on him throughout the afternoon.
Yeah, they want him on. They don't. Yeah, that's why he's gone straight back on, because they know how important he is to drive from half back.
Forest Hill lead Ferntree Gully by 14 points at three-quarter time, and his game on out at Walker Park in Mitcham today as Mooroolbark try to get their quick answer. Now running around, swinging around on the right boot was Lemon. He was looking for Smith inside forward 50. So too there was Murphy. Bounce favourite Gardol went after it. Fantastic smother by Murphy. Now that's a second effort that you want to see from your big forwards. And the ball trickles over the boundary line and out of bounds, 40 metres out from the Mustang goals. 13 minutes gone. Massive crowd out here, a fantastic atmosphere as the ball comes down towards the Wadsworth direction. Couldn't quite trap it. The ball stays in somehow. Goodman's in there as well, and eventually it goes over the boundary line and out of bounds. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Mooroolbark much better in the clearances this quarter. They lead that 7-4.
The umpire will bring it back in now. Roach will go up against Rinaldi. Roach got himself into the front spot. Rinaldi over the back of him, knocked it down towards the Goodman direction. That was okay. Working in a series of handballs, Matty Langdon was brought to ground just outside his defensive 50 zone, and over the boundary line it goes. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live on efl.org.au. The umpire throws it in. Murphy played for a free kick. The umpire said no chance. Goodman got a little handball out. That was okay. Nicely picked up there by Lemon. Hasn't he been clever? He just slipped. The wet weather got slipped underneath his feet. And we'll have another bounce.
He's been electric this quarter, Benny. Daniel Lemon. It's really given a spark.
Well, they certainly needed a couple of extra sparks in this second half to get themselves back into this game, and they seem to have certainly done that so far in this term. Johnson got the kick, scrambly one. Out of that defensive zone, went about 40 metres. Mooroolbark almost gave away a free kick. Good to see him back on the ground as the umpire will come in and bounce it. Just outside the centre square here, almost on the true centre wing position, far side of Tormore Reserve. That monstrosity of a Trojan workhorse, which is no doubt a fantastic bar as well. Johnson, he's really racking up the possessions. Little kick up towards the Rinaldi direction, paddled it to his advantage. In fact, it was Hoare. He's come a long way out from goal. He wanted to find Matty Langdon, and he was tackled over the boundary line and out of bounds.
One thing about Brett Johnson is he gets the ball from hand to foot extremely quickly, and he did it again then in that stoppage.
Byer brings it back in. Rinaldi got the little knockdown. That was well done there by McManus. Got it away to Armstrong. They're going backwards to go forwards. They might have copped this up here, the Mooroolbark Football Club, and a series of handballs finds Goodman on the left boot, inside forward 50. That was a lovely weighted kick. Fantastic stuff, Billy Schilling. He had to sit the whole way, and he stood strong as well and took it with his good jukes, and he'll have a shot for goal about 40 metres out, 45-degree angle. He's already kicked 2 goals. This will make it number 3.
You talked about how quick Brett Johnson was able to get hand to boot, but then the handball just only had it for a fraction of a second, able to move it on to Goodman and get that ball deep into the Montrose forward line.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Magnificent.
Mark's inside 50 now, 4-1 this quarter in favour of Montrose and 14-2 for the match.
That's a big stat as Billy Schilling goes for a drop punt, go for a goal, straight over the goal umpire's head, and that is Montrose's 10th goal of the afternoon on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. They've opened up a very handy lead now. It's back out to that 5-goal margin. It's 31 points, in fact. 16 minutes gone, Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 10-7-67 Montrose, Mooroolbark 5-6. 36.
They just seem to have responded to the initial 8 to 10 minutes of Mooroolbark's hard physical pressure. They've responded, so game's back to pretty much where it started at half time.
Yeah, back to 31 points the margin. Montrose just seem to have an answer to every challenge that is issued to them by Mooroolbark. Secondary bounce, charge against Haney. Pretty much stalemate that one. McManus's long kick, but Langdon judged it beautifully. Had the kick well scouted. And Matty Langdon will clear for the Demons. Sends it up towards the wing. Jeff Bishop had front position. Markle free kick there paid to Jaden Bishop in front of Sam Ricard. Johnson has a sit down, the coach of Montrose. Bishop's kick forward, but it's plenty of Montrose defenders back there. There's a high tackle by Langdon on McManus. And James McManus, can he kick a captain's goal here for, or in fact, a vice-captain's goal, I should say, for the Mooroolbark team?
Do we have them now, Brad? Do we vice-captain's goals?
I actually thought he was the
They're just as important.
I thought he was the co-captain of Mooroolbark as Sam Rickard's dumped behind the play, wants a free kick. McManus hangs it out to the right, and the kick just never came back. So minus score there for James McManus. And Mooroolbark 5-7-37, Montrose 10-7-67. That would have been a very handy goal for the Mustangs.
Baldwin flexing their muscle at three-quarter time. They've extended their lead out to 46 points over Vermont.
Very handy. Kick goes up towards Rickard. He took the mark. Centre wing position. Preston was right on his hammer. Langdon's made some room up the ground. Takes the mark now. Right in front of the interchange gate. He'll go back inboard. Finds Stephen. Sold some candy, then drove the ball inside forward 50. It was a decent looking kick. At the fall of the ball, Schilling might be the first player to meet this. McManus comes after it. He wanted the safety of the boundary line, did Sean, and over he goes. A boundary throw in, 40 metres out from the Montrose goals. You'd think another goal here would definitely almost shut the gate. As the umpire threw a bin, came out to Alan Stride, boot to ball. He pushed it across the right-hand side. That would have been a fantastic goal from a stoppage, but the veteran pushes it through for one behind, and we'll have a look at the Bendigo Bank scoreboard at the 19-minute mark. We've almost hit time on in the premiership quarter. Montrose 10-8-68. It's 31 points still. Mooroolbark 5-7-37.
Giorgio really wound up on that kick. Roach attacked the footy, fisted it forward. Bell chases it down for Montrose, gathers it in now, gave it to Knee. Roach